Good morning, scholars. Happy Thursday, and welcome to Module 6, Lesson 9. In today's lesson, we continue our discussion of rules and plotting points from rules and analyzing those patterns that we're getting from those rules. Let's begin with fluency. On page 46 is a template of a coordinate plane. It's blank. It looks just like this. And on that coordinate plane, I would like you to plot the points that are on the very left. Before you plot those points, I want you to notice that this coordinate plane is not labeled. We always start by labeling our axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. And then you notice that the numbers aren't even labeled on that plane. So how will we even know where to put our points on the very left? Well, we can label these in whole numbers because all of the points I'm plotting are in whole numbers. So I'm going to plot mine from 1 to 11 on the x-axis and on the y-axis. When you're finished with that, take a few seconds and plot all of these points to the left. And I'd like you to look up when you're done to make sure that your work matches my work. Here is another set of 3 that I'd like you to plot. Take a couple seconds. Again, check your work when you're finished. All right, let's begin with the problem set. Thursday's problem set is on pages 47 to 48. I'm going to go over all of the questions, and as we're going over it, I would like you to take notes because these problem set questions will help you later on when you're doing your independent practice, your homework. We're going to begin with page 47, the top of the page, problem 1. Complete the table for the given rules. Here's my table for line A and line B. And here's the coordinate plane where I'm going to plot it. I'm sorry if it's a little bit blurry. I expanded on the page so we're able to see it better on the screen. So I'm going to start with a table for line A. I have my x coordinates here. I don't know my y coordinates, but I have a rule that will tell me how to find y. Remember, that's the purpose of a rule. Now the rule is y is 1 more than x. 1 more means plus 1. So for all of these, I could just take my x coordinates and add 1 to get to the y. So x is 1, 1 more than 1 is 2, and the x and y together is 1 comma 2. I'm going to continue the rest. My x here is 5, 1 more than 5 to get y is 6, and the ordered pair is 5 comma 6. I'd like you to do the x with 9 and the x with 13. All right, over here, 1 more than 9 is 10, so the ordered pair is 9 comma 10. And the last one, x of 13, 1 more than 13 is 14, and the ordered pair is 13 comma 14. We have line A. Before plotting line A, let's actually just finish up the table down here for line B. The rule here is y is 4 more than x. So kind of the same thing as line A where we're adding something, but instead of adding 1, we're adding 4. So when my x is 0, 4 more than 0 is 4. So my ordered pair is 0, comma 4. Go ahead and do x coordinate of 5, 8, and 11. All right, over here, x with 5, 4 more than 5 is 9, so my ordered pair is 5, 9. X coordinate of 8, 4 more than 8 is 12, ordered pair is 8, 12, and x coordinate of 11, 4 more than 11 is 15, ordered pair is 11, 15. All right, I'm going to start plotting these here. So I'm going to start plotting line A. I accidentally pressed next, so you have my first point here, 1, 2. Notice that between 0 and 5, 5 and 10, 10 and 15, 15 and 20, our individual units here are in whole numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. So the next ordered pair for line A, 5, 6, I'd like you to plot along with me. Here's 5 on the X, 6 on the Y, 9, 10, start at 0, 9 on the x-axis, 10 on the y-axis, and last one, 13, 14, starting at the origin, 0, 0, go over 13 units, go up 14 units, up there. So we have our line A so far. I'm going to draw a line to connect them. I'd like you to do the same using any straight object. Notice here that the line is bent in a way that it's not really touching the origin if you were to extend it. It would kind of be starting at 0, 1, and that's okay. The line does not have to go through the origin. It wouldn't make it a straight line. Let's go ahead and plot line B. The first ordered pair is 0, 4, so starting at 0, 0. I'm not really moving on the x-axis, please remember, because the ordered pair, or the x-coordinate for x is 0. I'm just going to move up 4 units on the y. So starting right there. Next one is 5, 9, and I'd like you to be plotting along with me. 5 on the x, 9 on the y, 8, 12, starting at 0, 8 on the x, 12 on the y, and our last one, 11, 15, would be right there, 11, 15. And like we did for line A, I'd like you to connect those points in a straight line. Again, notice line B does not start at the origin 0, 0. It's really starting at 0, 4, and that's okay too. And here are my labels for line A. All right, let's move on to B. So we've already done A, where it says construct each line on the coordinate plane. These are the lines that we just constructed, line A and line B. Now B says compare and contrast these lines. Let's start with something that these two lines share. What is similar between line A and line B? What do you notice about these two types of lines? Well, these are parallel lines, meaning if I were to extend line B or line A in either direction, neither one of those lines would intersect with each other. They will never touch. They're parallel to each other. Now let's think about what is a little bit different between line A and line B, and think about the distance between these two lines from one point to another. So line B, the y values of line B are 3 more than the y values of line A, anywhere you go on line B. And I'm going to pick a couple points to highlight just to explain this concept further. This is something new that we haven't talked about before. So you see these 2 points that are being highlighted from line B and line A, and notice that these 2 points are directly above each other. That's the only way you can compare the values. Now, thinking about these values, let me get my pen. When I think about the y value of this point here, I'm trying to draw a straight line, I'm sorry. The y value right there is a 6. for that point on line A. Now let's think about the y value of the highlighted point on line B. If I draw it all the way to the y-axis, that y value is 9. Now the difference between those two y values, the 6 and the 9, is 3. That's what I mean by the y values of line B is 3 more than the y values of line A. You can compare that again. The y value of that point, and if you go all the way down, the y value of that point. They're 3 spaces apart, or 3 units apart for anywhere you go on those two lines. Let's move on to C. Based on the patterns that you see, predict what line G, whose rule is y is 4 times as much as x, would look like. Draw your prediction in the plane above. There are a few corrections that I want to make for this problem. You notice our rule here is y is 4 times as much as x. I want you to cross that out and write y is 4 more than x. The reason I'm asking you to cross it out is because the original rule, y is 4 times as much as x, is the same rule that's in your homework. So I want us to do something different so that you can apply that knowledge to your homework. Now, what's happening here? I've been given a rule, and I'm being asked to generate x coordinates and y coordinates that match that rule, and then plot those points. What I'm going to do here is create a table like we saw in the beginning of the problem set with line A and line B, where I'm going to pick some x coordinates, use the rule to generate some y coordinates, write them as ordered pairs, and then plot them. And I'm going to pick the same x coordinates as we did for line B. So 0, 5, 8, and 10. So 0, 5, 8, and 10 are the x coordinates, and I'm going to use the y coordinates. Y is 4 more than x to plot. So y, 4 more than x, would be 4, 0, 4. For 5 here, 4 more than 5 is 9, 0, 5, 9. The remaining ones, 8 plus 4 is 12, 8, 12, and 10 plus 4 is 14, 10, 14. When I plot these points, there is 0, 4, 5, 9, 8, 12, and 10, 14. I sort of had to move those blue points a little bit below just to show you that they are overlapping with the points that are on line B. And so line B and line C are the same line. And because line B and line C are the same line, the same way line B was parallel to line A, line C is also parallel to line A. Line C and line B are not parallel to each other because they are both touching each other. They are the same line. They're not parallel to each other, but they're both parallel to line A. Here are your homework pages for today, pages 49 to 50. They are relatively short, the same way the problem set for today was pretty short. As you're working, remember you can use your resources. You can use your problem set notes, you can re-watch this video, or you can always feel free to call me or text me or email me, and I'd be more than happy to help you. I hope you have a great day, scholars, and I hope you are all healthy and safe at home.